This is another episode of Giving Flowers, giving a level of respect of underappreciated. This is not, this is somebody that I really felt like. By the way, I was going to say, this is not one of those situations where I had with Brock Lesnar, where he is a big star. It's just the appreciation isn't loud enough, if you ask me. This is somebody that did not even get a chance, did not get a chance to really walk or do anything great. When I think this guy is amazing, that is Taz. I'm giving Taz his flowers. Taz definitely deserves flowers. You talk about very innovative. Uh, he's around the same time. Hell, the Steiners trained him, right? The Steiners got vignettes in ECW training with Taz. So, the Steiners is very innovative in the 80s with their explosive style. And Taz took that on with this shoot fight type of MMA character style, and it worked because Taz was basically the small guy in the room. Really, he wasn't small. He was just a short guy in the room, but a killer. Taz, ECW General, I've never seen characters like this before. This Taz is responsible for, far as like that attitude of that phenomenon type of character. To me, like Samoa Joe, easy. You see Samoa Joe in Taz all day. There's no way to unsee that. Uh, Taz is one of the most, highly gifted in-ring wrestlers I ever seen. All the damn suplexes I ain't never seen before Taz. I'm sure they was done in Japan, but in America I never seen none of this shit done before Taz. It's just craziness. And how he used to brutalize people. He was so damn good. Even though you hear the stories of Robin Dam and New Jack, they kind of, but it didn't ruin it for me. It is what it is. Everybody's playing a character. But he was so damn good. None of that affects it to me. It doesn't matter if he wasn't legit. He was good at what he did. So he made me a fan forever. ECW Taz is somebody, Taz in general, I just felt like should have been a much bigger star. He definitely could have worked. Him versus Big Show. Basically Taz could have been Rey Mysterio before Rey Mysterio. He's not a luchador, but they're about the same height. So the little man that did it, the short man that did it type situation, but this guy's like a small killer. Basically, don't underestimate his size. He can choke out anyone. And that's what Paul Heyman created, this beast out of Taz. Like, nobody could hardly beat him. And then Bam Bam made him look like a fucking killer. Bam Bam is what, the Bam Bam matches is what did it for me. The Sabu matches was great, really intense, real like brutal. Some of his Robert Dam matches and shit, franchise matches, but the fucking Bam Bam matches, those matches was, one of the main scenes that go through my head is when this nigga T-Bone suplexes his ass in the crowd. First of all, Bam Bam at this time got to be 360 or something, right? Suplexed him off the stage apron, like the ramp, and they got this tall ramp that's like at least a good damn near 8 feet off the ground. So the crowd looking up. This motherfucker T-Bone suplex him, hit the back of his head on that guardrail and still continue the match. I think that was the same match. They went through the fucking stage or the ring. It's one of them. But they matches was very, very brutal. Very, very brutal. And it was like, damn, bro, that shit's crazy. Shit's really, really crazy when you think about it. And I just think with that type of work he displayed, I don't know how why WWE didn't just use him. I heard the stories. Some people say he had a bad attitude, chip on his shoulder, dangerous to work with. A lot of people's like, no, I'm not taking those moves. And then he was short, so it wasn't no room for Taz, unfortunately. It seemed like it was going somewhere because Kurt Angle was undefeated. It's Royal Rumble 2000, I think. And he come out there, choke out Kurt Angle out of all people. I mean, look at Kurt Angle's career, look at Taz, So it looked like something was happening. And next thing you know, it just, man. So Taz is one of those guys, man. He never got to blow up nowhere else but ECW. He became one of the greatest color commentators. You know, I pretty much all my childhood I've always heard Taz with Michael Cole for years. Now he's in AEW, so it's nostalgia. But man, Taz should have been a much bigger star, bro. I'm not saying a 20-time world champ, but like maybe 3 world titles in his career. Big Show feuds, Stone Cold feuds, The Rock, the invasion angle where he's a threat, like he should have been for ECW side. And just he could talk. I mean, I think he had the ability to make anybody believe it. They just Duddy made him look stupid. It's just unfortunate though, but very unfortunate. Politics is a motherfucker. Can you just imagine Taz reaching a pinnacle that Taz probably really could have reached, bro? And I just think he had it. His size played a factor against him, unfortunately, and other things that people said. But it heard from the Stone Cold deliberately, he's not putting over a midget. I don't know if Stone Cold said that verbatim, but obviously it happened that way. But just the way they embarrassed Taz was just... I know Taz ended up getting injured, though, I believe, right? So I could be wrong about that. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I thought he ended up getting injured or something, the back injuries or something. The ECW bumps and all the while she was doing ECW kind of caught up with him at the time. But there's just some of the embarrassing things they had to do. Like Stone Cold whipped them, and then Benoit just made him tap out like that. It was just like, come on, dude. This dude come from beating big ass Mike Awesome and Bam Bam and Pitbull #2 and all these like 911. Like the idea that he is small, but dude, he could have got over if he just imagine he T-bone suplex Big Show. You know what I'm saying? Choked out Big Show in 3 minutes. Like this shit, it would have worked, bro. It could have really worked. He had the mic skills, he had the intimidation, he had the intensity, he had the character. It's just Taz got played, and it's unfortunate, but that's why I'm giving him his flowers. That's why I'm giving him his flowers. He deserves his flowers, being very innovative, very ahead of his time. It is a lot of people that remind me of Taz in different ways. Samoa Joe, Brock Lesnar. I know a lot of people say why Brock, but like that, not Brock per se, like of a character or anything. Taz was one of the first people I've seen that had this monstrous presence about him. That's why I say Brock. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Joe. Joe and Taz wrestle totally different, but he's so much contributes that Samoa Joe got. Samoan submission machine, human suplex machine. I mean, Taz was his manager in TNA, so that's an obvious one with Joe. I'm sure Joe wouldn't deny that. You know what I'm saying? But Taz could have been and should have been one of those phenom, super presidented type of wrestlers like Goldberg, Brock, Undertaker, those unsung killers that like they're like the boogeyman. These motherfuckers hardly ever lose. Like Taz could have been, and I think he should have been one of them, but it don't matter. It's cool what it is. I don't care about his resume. Taz is one of my favorite wrestlers I ever got to see. So it's unfortunate what happened with Taz, but I think Taz deserves his flowers, and Taz is getting his flowers today. So shouts out to Taz. All his contributions to what he did for wrestling. I mean, you got people doing his moves today, so his influence is not that far. So Taz getting his flowers, man. Like, share, subscribe, dislike, all the other good shit. What do y'all think it is?